Welcome everyone. Today we're discussing social media as a career tool, and more specifically, how to leverage YouTube for medical students and physicians. Quick note about who I am. My name is Kevin Jabal, and my YouTube journey first started by creating Med School Insiders as a solo creator in October of 2016, with the goal of creating concise, high-yield educational content for both pre-meds and medical students. We grew from zero, no website, no audience, no social media presence at all, to 100,000 subscribers in 5 months and over 200,000 subscribers within our first year. And we're now at 1.6 million subscribers. A year after starting Med School Insiders, at the end of 2017, I started my personal channel, Kevin Jabal MD, which has largely been a form of creative expression and experimentation. And most recently, in 2022, I started a car review channel, Jabal in Cars, as a way to indulge one of my lifelong passions. Now, in the last 5 to 7 years, there has been a massive explosion of physicians and physicians in training on YouTube and social media as a whole. Some well-known and highly successful examples include Dr. Glockenflecken, Dr. Mike, Mama Dr. Jones, and Medlife Crisis, among many others. Now, if you're familiar with any of these creators, you'll see that they're all very different. There's no single mold for physicians on YouTube. You can provide entertainment and satire, like Dr. Glockenflecken.
I'll make the change. All right, bye-bye. Hey, sorry about that. You were saying? Yeah, I have a question. Pharmacy! Oh, hi, I noticed you just ordered Lopressor and metoprolol. Yeah, those are the same thing.
Humor and insight, like Medlife Crisis.
Medicine bringing you a shocking revelation about cookies. Get those carbs away from me, man. That's 100 mils.
Or more specialty-focused education like Mama Dr. Jones.
And it doesn't mean there's no people on the planet who have PCOS and could never conceive, but a lot of people with PCOS can get pregnant.
Now, the benefits of YouTube for physicians and medical students are very wide-ranging depending on what you prioritize. Most obviously, YouTube can become a side hustle or even your main hustle. Monetization usually occurs through a combination of 3 methods. So first is Google AdSense, which is where YouTube will actually place ads at the beginning, in the middle, etc. on your video. Number 2 is sponsorship, where brands pay you in order for you to promote their brand on your channel. And number 3, creator businesses, where you promote a product or service that you actually have a stake in. But there are actually many benefits beyond just monetary. As you build credibility in your niche, YouTube becomes a very powerful way to network, especially with like-minded folk who appreciate your content. And that can open the door to many opportunities, both personal and professional. From personal experience, I can vouch for the multitude of business opportunities that are going to land themselves in your inbox, many of which you won't be interested in, but some of them you will. And you'll also be making amazing friends and meeting fantastic people all through YouTube. Now, as social media among physicians has become normalized, there are many opportunities even within academia. As an example, you can find research collaborators through your YouTube networking. Now, these are the most obvious primary and secondary benefits, but there are also many tertiary benefits that go underappreciated. Your verbal communication skills will improve, you'll become a better writer, a better photographer and videographer, a better teacher, you'll build and exercise your creativity muscles, and you'll get at least a taste of what entrepreneur life can be like, and if you want to pursue it further. Success on YouTube is often defined by the most readily apparent and visible metrics, namely subscribers, number 2 would be view count, and then number 3, revenue. Now, this doesn't have to be your metric of success. However, many of the benefits of YouTube will be reliant on the size of your audience, which is again reflected by your subscriber count. If your goal is to educate your viewers on certain research or certain nuances about your specialty, the larger your audience, the larger your impact. If you want to start a side business and use YouTube as content marketing to drive business on your website, then again, the larger your audience, the more traffic you're going to generate. But if you want to just have fun and explore your creativity, then these traditional metrics of success are far less important. At the beginning, when you're first starting, you don't need to have all these things figured out. But as your channel grows, as you take things more seriously, you want to be intentional with your goals. Otherwise, you will get caught up with the rat race of YouTube subscriber growth. A few examples here with Med School Insiders. In that first year, it was really a focus on YouTube channel growth. But after hitting 200 or 300K, we then transitioned more towards lead generation for our business. If you were in private practice, you could do something similar whereby you use content marketing to educate the public, educate your viewers on orthopedic surgery and its related conditions and interventions, or whatever your specialty is. And those viewers who resonate with you and your philosophy will actually seek you out to be their orthopedic surgeon. Dr. Gary Linkoff from City Facial Plastics does this quite successfully on his YouTube channel. I've come to know many people who have started YouTube channels, but very few who've actually succeeded. These are the common pitfalls to avoid. First, consistency and patience are key. Don't just make 5 YouTube videos and then get discouraged that you don't have thousands of subscribers. That's totally normal. You'll need to produce content regularly, usually for at least several months minimum, before you're gonna see the results that you want. I recommend 1 video per week for most people to start. If you're doing more than that, it can quickly get overwhelming for new creators. And if you're doing less than that, then it can really hinder your momentum and channel growth. If you're doing shorts, then you wanna do at least 3 or more per week. Now there's a famous story of a University of Florida photography professor who divided his class into 2 groups. One was the quantity group, whereby they'd be graded on the number of photos they took, and the second was the quality group, whereby they'd be graded on the excellence of one single photo. At the end, he actually found that the best photos were entirely taken by the quantity group, the people that put in the reps, rather than the quality group, those who obsessed about taking the single best photo. Now, of course, this applies to YouTube as well. So don't fall into that very common perfectionist trap whereby you create fewer pieces of content and you try to make each one really, really good. You'll actually improve much more rapidly if you just get the reps in and you produce more content, and each time you try to improve a little bit. Create a deadline for yourself and take it seriously. Say every Sunday at 8 a.m., no matter what, you put out a video. The next pitfall comes down to niche. If your niche is too broad, you're not gonna grow nearly as rapidly because each time you put out a video, only a small percentage of your audience responds, and YouTube sees that as being less engaging content. The algorithm isn't gonna pick you up and then start pushing you to other people. On the other hand, if you're always creating medical TV reaction videos, then your audience knows what to expect. They're going to engage with your content at a higher ratio, and YouTube is going to push that to more people. But remember, depending on your goals, having a broader niche might be okay. Perhaps you're okay sacrificing some YouTube subscriber growth in order for other things. As an example, my personal channel is an order of magnitude smaller than Med School Insiders, and part of that is because we didn't niche down. But that's okay because I was focusing on the fun and creativity, talking about cars and cycling and USMLE and residency matching and everything between. The last pitfall is focusing too closely on those details that don't actually move the needle. If you are producing high quality content and being consistent, you will grow. You don't need the fanciest camera or the most expensive studio setup to succeed on YouTube. If you focus on making high quality content and incremental improvements, you will succeed. With each video, just try to improve 1%, and those small incremental changes will add up over time. They will compound to be a massive difference. All right, so you've decided to create a YouTube channel. Where do you start? First, determine your niche. What kind of content do you want to be making? And remember, this is a long-term game, so don't choose something that's very difficult that feels like pulling teeth. Choose something that you'll actually enjoy and you'll have the longevity to do month after month, year after year. Is it going to be more educational or more entertainment? Maybe both. Are you going to be doing a day in the life of a medical student in Italy? Maybe what it's like to be a cardiothoracic surgeon in Spain? The options are limitless. Now, if you're affiliated with an institution, whether that's med student, resident, attending, etc., make sure you're not going to get into hot water by creating this content. I've had a handful of creators reach out to me over the years with horror stories about how their institution wasn't as supportive or understanding about their social media endeavors, and they had to face some really unfortunate consequences. Number 2 is setup. Make sure you have the necessary equipment, you've created your YouTube channel, chosen your channel name, your profile picture, and if you're a really busy attending physician, you may have more of a budget. You may even want to hire some editors or a team to help you so that you're not editing and publishing your own content. But that is completely optional and not necessary at all. When I first started Med School Insiders, I only purchased a $16 tripod from Amazon so I could rig my 3-year-old iPhone to it to record myself drawing on a piece of paper. We all have smartphones now, and that's all that's necessary to get started. You can certainly upgrade as your channel grows and budget permitting, but don't let the lack of fancy equipment hold you back. The third and final step is to just execute on the plan. Stay consistent, try to improve by 1% with every video, and by putting in the work, you'll eventually reap the rewards. Just don't expect those rewards overnight. Thank you all so much for your time. If you'd like to connect, reach out to me on Instagram at KevinJabalMD or send me a message on kevinjabal.com.